different types of foundation. There are two main categories of foundation that emerge in construction. First, the deep foundation. Deep foundation are required when building on sand and other soft soil that will not be able to absorb the load of buildings. So, the main characteristic of deep foundation, it is commonly used when the soil is too soft for the erection of the building. So commonly it is used in bridges, piers, and dams. For example, must lay foundation underwater while still remaining structural integrity. So commonly it is used in underwater construction like bridges and dams. The second category of foundation in construction is shallow foundation. A shallow foundation is one that is wider than it is deep. Shallow foundation can also be called spread or opening footings. They don't require much in the way of digging or boring into the earth, and for the reason they are the most common. So it is commonly used in residential building, as we can see of the common construction site, we can observe they use shallow foundation. Shallow versus deep foundation. So there are differences between shallow and deep foundation. First, shallow foundation are commonly used for smaller projects and when the top layers of the soil can adequately handle the distribution of it. So, like what I've said a while ago, that shallow foundation is commonly used in residential building or smaller project, while deep foundation can transfer the load down to the layer of the substrata bedrock to ensure structural integrity. So, using deep foundation, they can transcend the soft part of the soil and put the support in the harder strata of the soil.
The following are examples of shallow foundation. Mat foundations, also known as raft foundation, utilize a partially submerged basement as a shallow foundation for load bearing and water resistance. The purpose of mat foundation is to reduce differential settlement of structures constructed over weak soil. So there are three individual footing: the stepped footing, slope footing, and simple footing. Simple footing is the most commonly used type of foundation. Next is the stepped footing, where it is to keep the metal columns away from the direct contact with soil to save them from corrosive effects. And lastly is the slope footing, which is used to distribute the load evenly from columns to the soil. Next is combined footings. So it consists of two or more columns sharing a single foundation pad with equal weight distribution. So combined footing is used while in construction of two or more columns, when they are close to each other and their foundations overlap. So in that case, it is now a single foundation, a single footing. The main purpose of using combined footing is to distribute uniform pressure under the footing. And lastly is the stem wall foundation, where it is a type of shallow foundation that runs the entire length of the load-bearing wall. In that case, the stem walls transmit the load from the house to the footing, and then it is distributed over a larger area, which is then they protect the building itself. By lifting the base of the building, its walls are protected from flooding and some other environmental hazards.
Deep foundation. Deep foundations means that transfer the load down to a layers of substrata bedrock to ensure structural integrity. These are examples of deep foundation. First one is pile foundation, hollow box foundation, cushion foundation, and shaft foundation. Shaft foundations are broadly described as cast-in-place, deep foundation elements constructed in a drilled hole that is stabilized to allow controlled placement of reinforcing and concrete. And it is also formed by excavating a hole, typically 3 to 12 feet in diameter, inspecting the soil or rock into which the foundation is formed, and constructing a cast-in-place reinforcement concrete foundation within the hole. The foundation as constructed supports axial forces through a combination of side shearing and end bearing resistance. Second one, hollow box foundation. Hollow box foundation are designed such a way that they behave as buoyant, or known as floating, substructures for the net loading over it, hence reducing the load intensity over the soil. And it is also known as compensated foundations or deep cellular rafts. Third one, the pile foundation. Pile foundation are driven deep into the earth to either reach a layer of solid bedrock or use surface area friction to maintain load-bearing structural integrity. Last one, the cushion. Cushions are deep foundations, typically dug or submerged in water to reach solid bedrock. They provide structural integrity, water resistance, underground maintenance capabilities, pumping, and more. That's all. Thank you.